Okay, so this is Michael Helene, and I'm going to attempt to do a voiceover. And if you knew my life, you would know that that's not super easy to do because I will be interrupted. Anyhow, this is one of my first videos. I'm hoping that you guys like it. I just started sort of a mini business called Restart, where I am learning to be an artist. I'm a hairdresser as of right now, but I love to paint, I love to draw, I love mixed media, multimedia. I sort of started this about a year and a half ago. I've learned most things online, but this is my first video using an Art Snacks box. You'll see that I did an Art Snacks opening, reboxing, unboxing, whatever that's called. Anyhow, my idea for this video was to use the tools that were sent to me in the April Art Snacks box, which I'll list below, and I think I actually list in this video as well, somewhere in here. But you'll see that, I got kind of a yellow red, I got some blues. The colors aren't exactly what they are in the yellow submarine, but you work with what you got. Anyhow, I found a picture I kind of liked, to use as just an inspirational photo, and I started to record. Well, about halfway into doing my outline, my camera stopped working and didn't record anything, and I didn't realize it. So I'm glad I caught it when I did. And so basically I'm doing this yellow submarine utilizing micron pen in black. It's the pen tip, oh god, what it's called, it's almost like a little brush tip kind of thing. A water brush. I've got the Faber Castel watercolor pencils in like a gold color and a red, and I do in a minute. You'll see me in a minute. I will color that in. I've got the Pitt markers, which actually aren't water soluble, but I was able to get some color, use them in another watercolor, which I'll share with you guys later. They kind of work, so I guess ink just does that. Maybe once they dry, you can't put water over it. Again, you'll learn from me that I am learning how to do this, and I thought it would be an interesting take on an art concept sort of business or video concept, because if you think about it, most of the people that do this are really, really talented and really good, and I watch them. I love watching them. But I'm learning. I've been doing it about a year. Prior to that, I couldn't draw a stick figure. So if you're like me and you want to get into art and you're kind of learning and figuring it out, I don't have time. I've got 2 kids, 4-year-old and a 5-year-old. And, right now I'm home from Corona, which, many of us are. And I figured I would do some videos. So, again, I'm just using the micron pen to sort of outline everything. I go in and color it in and fill everything in. And then the black pen at the top there is a Molotow. I don't know how to say it. Again, learning, don't know all the tools, still learning. Right now I'm, anyways, it's a chrome marker. It's a paint pen, it's chrome, it's very mirror-like. I love it. I've used it a few other times, I love it. Right now I'm using the water brush to lay down a thin layer of water, and then I go in and I kind of start blending the edges with the colored pencils, which, by the way, I love. I actually think I'm going to order more of those. I do have some watercolor pencils, a whole set. Who are they by? I don't even remember who they're by, but I love them. Sometimes I'll dip them and use them. Watercolor is one of my favorites. Okay, so sorry, I had to pause that for a minute because, well, my kids came in. Like I said, do you want to say hi? Say hi.
Hi.
Okay, that's Lonnie. That's my 4-year-old. So anyhow, you can see now that I am using the water that I laid down to smear, I don't know if that's the professional term, but spread the color around. What I realized while I was doing this, though, is in order to get the darker orange kind of color, which you'll see, so obviously yellow submarine has like a darker yellow and a lighter yellow. Hey, no. And I kind of, you'll see me sort of change the way I did this. I kind of wish I had laid the colors down first and then added water to them, because it was a little bit hard to blend. It comes out well, but it was a little hard to blend as far as the colors went. So you can see, like, I'm laying down a little bit of the yellow that from basically the edges. That's it. I hadn't colored anything in. I go in and I color in with the yellow. It's a kind of a goldy yellow, a little darker yellow. And then I add the red, and it was a little bit hard to blend. On the front of the submarine, I changed that a little bit, and you'll see that it looks a lot better. I think you can see it in the video in a minute, but it's not bad. Again, I'm learning, so I'm kind of trying to figure it out. So you'll see I go in and I do another layer of the yellow, which works great because it gives me a lot of depth. Spread that around a little bit, and the watercolor paper that I'm using is what came in the Art Snacks kit, and in the Art Snacks April box. It's nice. I really like it, but I will tell you, I kind of prefer to do watercolor where I have more bleeding, because I like the pen over watercolor where I can kind of spread the watercolor out more. This paper, much like it's Winsor Newton watercolor paper, 5x7. In the, like, there it's glued on all four sides, which is really, really nice. It's great for selling art. So this is where you can kind of see what I was talking about. It doesn't blend very well. I'm able to get it there by adding a second layer over the top, which was fine. I imagine you have to do that most of the time anyways, and with this type of paper. But it's cold pressed, so it basically sucks the moisture up. So you don't get a lot of watercolor look to it. It looks more like doing, acrylic or something like that, which again, I like, just not necessarily the style that you'll see me do other things in. So here is where I kind of shift and change it a little bit. I still lay it down, but I don't know if I recorded it. We'll see in a minute, right? Because I've watched this video like 100 million times. And I do bring the bottom of the submarine down a little bit. I felt like it was a little bit narrow, so you'll see me do that as well. So here you go. You can kind of see I had worked on it a little bit, and it just didn't blend enough. So what I did was I went through, did dry red, dry yellow, dry red, dry yellow, laid it down, then used the water to kind of blend it, and that worked a lot better. Okay, so let me first apologize. Oh, you can see here at the front how much better that looks, the blending, how much better it looks than what I did on the other part of the submarine. Anyhow, my kids have come outside. It's really, really nice out. It's been really cold, but I apologize for the wind. It's hard for me to find a spot that's quiet, so I came outside, and of course it's windy, so you can kind of hear that in the background. I'll have to see if I can edit some of that out, but if not, just know that it's a nice day and everybody's outside because of COVID, and the kids are playing and everybody's playing outside. So if you hear that, I'm sorry about that. I've tried to do it in quiet other places, but it just doesn't happen. So anyways, I'm putting in the darker colors. I started with the red and then layered the yellow on top in these areas. Again, using the water brush to kind of fill in, adding some depth with the red. So yeah, I kind of started with the red and the yellow, and I still have the yellow in there, so it's not as red as it would be if I used it alone, but you can really see that doing it laying down either a little bit of water and layering it, or starting with it dry and then layering it over top. It just provides better color coverage, I guess is the right way to say it. So you can really see with these two colors how I was able to get orange, a darker red, a lighter red. I did use the Micron pen to go kind of outline the areas that I was using to do the submarine, like the outline of the submarine. And then I'm using the chrome on the inside of where the I think it's white, or it could be just clear. Whatever color you're putting the yellow submarine in, where the windows are. But I like the idea of having the chrome sort of in those areas. Again, just using the yellow submarine as an inspiration. You'll kind of see me do some of that. I'm going around the outside here. I, did this kind of by hand, so maybe it would be neater if I had like a tiny little small circle to work with, but I didn't, so, that's the part. But I like it. I think it came out really good. Again, just working with the red here. Okay, so this is the area that I had to kind of go with myself. The colors on the little design on the inside is not blue and green. I believe it might be purple. I don't have it in front of me. There's some purple and pink. I didn't have that. So again, it was more of an inspiration, and I used the Pitt markers. I liked them. The Faber, I don't know how to say it. Faber Castel. Anyways, I used the Pitt markers. They're kind of thick. They're like brushes, but I really like using them. And they are water, what are they? They're supposed to be water resistant. But I've used them in a couple other things, the ink that's in them, and they spread pretty well. I really like them, actually. In fact, I'm thinking about buying a few more. Okay, so now I am just kind of going through and doing the outline on the little, what are those called? Like, I used to know what those are called. I was really into boats at one point. Oh God, it'll come to me later and I'll be like, oh my God, and everybody's gonna be like, that's what they're called, this is what they're called. I want to call something holes. Anyways, just going through and outlining the design, making sure everything is where I want it, sort of fixing some things. I do color in the rest of it. But I'm adding in some more definitive lines to make sure that it looks more impressive, I guess is the word. And then I'm using the blue and the green markers to just fill in this. And again, this is my interpretation. I realize that these colors are not accurate, but they did look really cool. And I liked them with the orange and the yellow and the red quite a lot, actually. In fact, my brother doesn't know this yet, but I'm going to frame this instead of selling it. Maybe I'll sell some copies of it or something, or prints of it. But I think I'm going to give this my brother. My baby brother's actually having a little baby boy, the first boy. There are 4 baby girls. So my husband came in and was like, here, I got Chick-fil-A, and threw that at me as I was, it was Chick-fil-A sauce, as I was doing my recording. So sorry about that. He knows that I was not super happy about it. Anyhow, I'm going to give it to him and frame it for his little boy's room. My brother is obsessed with the Beatles. In fact, we're 90% sure he's a reincarnate of John Lennon. He kind of looks like him, was really obsessed with him. And I don't know. I just thought this was kind of neat. So you can see I do all my little just detail work here using my chrome brush. I think in a minute I'm going to show you the way that looks. It's a really, really, really a cool brush, paint marker, the liquid chrome. It's so shiny. It looks like a mirror. I swear you can see your reflection and it's amazing looking. But now I'm just going back in with my micron it's like a brush marker, and really fun to use. Remember how I said earlier I was going to take that down and make it a little wider? That's what I'm doing. And then I'm going to go around and I'm going to outline the whole thing. But basically I go in and I take it a little down. I just felt like it was a little bit narrow, I guess. I don't know, it probably would have been fine, but just being a little anal. Okay, so I'm going to go through with my marker and outline everything once the coloring's done. I do this at the end because that way if, something goes haywire with the crayon, the colors or something, it just looks sharper when I try to color it in before. Okay, so it looks better. I mean, it's not perfect, but I'm very happy with it. You can kind of see that chrome in there a little bit. It was fun. I had fun with it. I hope you guys like it. I know it's not perfect, but again, I started this a year ago. I am learning. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and you enjoy my yellow submarine. This again is the April Art Snacks box goodies. And this is Michael Helene with Restart.